What is it? What is it really like? What is it really like to be in evolution? It seems like something so exciting, revolutionary. You're advancing new technologies, you're creating new things, the world is evolving. We as species are learning how to do things better than we ever have. This only ever comes after a time of deep introspection and healing within a section of the planet. So, when you truly are on the other side of life, you see everything for what it is. And you know that everything has an aura to it. And everything has a value to it. But true world evolution is something people will talk about. People want to make more money. You know, economies want to be the one on top. Businesses want to boom. You want to 10 times your income. You want to 30 times your income. You want to have a consistent 20% return on your investment. These are things people talk about every day. But you can't get there unless you're deep enough to hold it. You know, you've heard me talk about a building with the basement levels before, right? So we have your 50-story building, it's your empire, but you have to have certain amount of foundation basement levels to secure that 50-story building. Now those basement levels are an understanding of the deeper parts of who you are. It's really simple. It goes same way with the soul as it does with building buildings, as it does with advancement, right? You have to know things on deeper levels in order to go higher. Now, the way that my profession works is I had to go to places that have never been gone to before in the depths of, I guess you would call creation itself, in order to heal all of which is completely wrong. But in order for me to do that, everything that is been not correct and stagnant and off balance and all of these things, what happened is they'll do anything to keep it that way. Which, that makes sense, right? You know, us as human nature, you'll do anything to keep that crazy relationship because you know it and you understand how it works. Why would you, walk into something else that's unknown unless you really know that it's going to work? Right now, there's enough evidence out there that you can realize you can divorce someone and get away from bad behavior and so forth, and you can have a better life. But this was not something that was always available to the human race. We haven't always known that you can change yourself, change your life. It's just the way it is. You marry someone, you're stuck with them for life, you deal with it, you die. That's the way it used to be. But now we've gotten to the place where it's like, I want to be peaceful inside, right? We've evolved to a species that is more modern. And as we continue to be more modern, quote unquote, there's somebody that has to make the way for that, right? There has to be somebody that says this is something that has been done before, right? You have to, somebody has to be the first person to do it, right? The same way that you look back at all the gurus that made huge difference. You know, you look at Tesla, huge guru in science and technology. You look at Carl Jung, an amazing guru when it came to understanding psychology and the brain and the different aspects of the characters. What I do is that on a spiritual level, and I do it with not only the advancement of the human brain being able to understand and know deeper parts, but I had to create a whole new system of evolution. Because as I was going into the depths to advance myself, everything was pain-based. Everything was, you get evolution when there is pain. And if you look at the entire history we have built into the books that we currently have, every time something advanced, there was extreme oppression, extreme problems. You look at all the history books. There was not a way that it was like, okay, we have dedication, meditation, refinement, and success. That is not the program. The program is oppression, pain, little people lose, big people win. And I was like, this is not the way that it's meant to be. But I was going through my own evolution and revealing that these are the spiritual structures that have literally had a held on the universe. Because the previous persons that made a commitment, which I was a part of. I was a part of that commitment, but I was betrayed in that commitment. And in that commitment, and that betrayal, I was silenced and put down. Now, what I do, I find the feminine energies across the world always replicate. When I do it first, I see it everywhere else. I see it happening around me after I've already completed it. And this is just one of the things that is part of manifestation. But it's not just new. It's like the weirdest things that you would have never found anywhere else. I do them and then they show up. And then the world actually changes. Yes, this is an element of manifestation in itself. But somebody always has to headway the idea. Somebody has to create the download. I'm the one that creates the download for the healing. I'm the one that creates the download of this is where your intuition will have the best success. Because I've already done it and it works. And it's unknown to you, but you're downloading it because you trust this system. So that's the new reality system 44. That's people wanting out of the oppression and they've been fighting for it. I have had many people that have been receiving these downloads. And the healing for that process is in the new reality system 44. So when you are working with that system, then you will actually naturally walk into the new evolution system, which is economics, growth of the human mind and the human spirit in a way that is, we understand that we have to meditate as each human being owns and values themselves for themselves. That we're not units of communities, that we are pillars within a powerful structure. That when you begin to understand that a building has many very powerful parts, and when each part is its own, then it can stand. This is just a deeper, more profound, refined way of each soul being as powerful as they can be. This is very, very different than the previous system. This is what I've created. This is why the earth and people are walking in this way. It is because I have created it. Power systems are all on this new system. The old system has been fully destroyed, and you will notice that the hold of religion on people is less and less and less. And these are not new things. I have been telling you that this is all going to fall. If you go back through my videos, you will see overcoming different things, and you will see the titles, and you will see the process of what I'm telling you is going to happen, and you will see the whole earth is going through this process. This is what I created. This is my job. And then those who have the actual ability to heavily invest, because it's not easy to be around me. I am a very expensive being in the physical and in the spiritual. And the reason I say that is because the investment you have to make to be close to me, to get information from me, has to be high. Why? Because once you're in my presence, once you have a conversation with me, you think, hey, she's human just like me. Or, she really does know what she's talking about, but you know what? I think I can get one over on her. It's natural. It's something that is within you as a human being. When you meet something that is so absolutely fascinating, you think, yeah, it's not that fascinating. It is, and I am. So you have to have a very deep and profound and powerful understanding that what you're getting is the most special thing ever. And if you can't sense that and willing to pay for that, then you can go to the new reality system 44, and you can do it the way that the rest of the world is doing it. That is my profession, and that is what will take the world to the other side when they get there at the pace that they're going, because they're self-led and they're okay with that. It empowers them, it strengthens them. And they do it as their obsession. And they are all learning their own professions, which will be the masters of other people who are the extreme followers who haven't quite got with the picture yet. But the leaders, the ones that are like, I do things myself, but I need the best people beside me so that I'm fully directed in the correct direction. When it comes to your business, when it comes to your spiritual self, mental self, well-being overall, you want the best. I am the best. I'm the one doing it all. Is it kind of like bossy to say that? No. I know it because everything I do is never been done before, and it shows up everywhere. That is a true creator. Now, where you create, whether you created something amazing that goes viral and then it goes down, or you are on a deeper level like myself. Now, no one will be on my level because I have made such powerful commitments to be this authority that I am. I made powerful commitments before, but I did it with someone. But now I've learned the lesson The balance can only be done by one source. And it was always me, but I was just veiled, masked, put under, and someone else took my shine. And so I didn't even know half of the things that was going on. So my deepest and profound apologies for my own evolution and how it didn't always serve. I did the best that I could with what I had. And now that I've taken the full reign and full responsibility as myself for my own creations, which all of my creations serve all of the souls in this universe now, not just Earth. It served other galaxies before too, but now it's universal. We went deeper. We had to. So there's a new spiritual system that aligns more deeply with how the perfection of creation is designed to expand into the light world, so that you have the best, most profound experience while you're evolving. Success is meant to come with deep, profound meditation and understanding of self. And it's not meant to be just for a few people who figured it out. It's meant to be for the foundation of the world, and then those who are at the very top. There's a whole system that is created just for you. Of course, as always, each level will rise and evolve as it is meant to be. Because there are certain levels that require very profound commitments, that require many, many tools and power behind them. And not everyone is able to make those commitments, to be those leaders, to say that certain things are no longer available to them while other things are. So we have different pillars in our structure. And I want each and every one to start getting to the place where we have this profound respect for each and every person, for what they do and who they are and how they unfold. We're getting there. It's moving. But in order for you to actually evolve, you have to have deep healing codes. Because the last stretch that we've been through, especially my gifted people, there was a lot that was coming for the gifted people to disable them. So whether you are able to invest heavily with me, or you just want to invest in yourself and do the work on yourself, then you will go over to the new reality system 44 and you will get in on that, because the codes are there. But you do have to make yourself a spiritual commitment to your own evolution to continue walking on that path. Now, many people have already been a part of this system. And so now I've made it so that commitment is required, because you need to know who's leading you. You need to be able to recognize who's leading you. It's important for you to understand and recognize it, whether it's just spiritually, when you're in the spiritual realms, because too many people have still been running back to the old system, feeling like that's going to help them. So there's been this wiggle woggle, they're working on their path and then they run back to religion, and then they get in a lot of problems because the religion starts to download, and then there's a lot of junk that gets stored in the soul. and then they start back on the evolution again. So the thing that I've really learned, even just in this last years, is the commitment towards the correct leader is extremely important, because the polarity of other leaders, of other spirituals, of other gurus, of other authorities, they'll confuse you day and night so that they can have your power, your giftings, and control over you. So you have to really know and have a commitment to the correct energies and have a profound knowing what that is. Because when you don't know, you'll run back to what you do know. It's just part of the human nature, not the soul necessarily, somewhat, yes, but you have to see what is evolution. And this is really important, that all of you who are here understand and know what my authority is. And that will help you make the decisions that you need to make in order to move forward effectively. Are you going to do this for you so that you are that pillar? Or do you want to continue just gobble around in the old ways and let those things create more pain and suffering for you so that you can eventually make the same decision to move forward for yourself? But you have to go through that process. Your will is required. Nothing happens without your will. And when you understand that nothing happens without your will, you will move with a greater, profound power. So in order for you to truly be on the other side of life, and to just sit down and have a conversation with me that truly ignites your soul and shows you how to heal at the same time, because that's what conversations with me do. When we're talking about you in ultimate capital letters truth, when you're paying for it, that's what you get. If you've ever had a conversation with me, or even here on YouTube as you're listening to something for free, you won't be getting any profound anything other than, I get what she's saying, and I know that there's much more beneath this. Yes, because I cannot give you the greatest things and not have you committed, because I've also learned that lesson. I have in the past given everybody and everything, and they've used it for things because they were then pulled in a different direction, because they had these great giftings and they had this great knowledge of how to move forward. And then somebody who had ill intentions lassoed them in and dragged them down a direction that put them in a very bad way. So until you are committed to the correct thing, you don't get any more information, any more value, and especially no sort of feeling of my presence or my energy. So any of those who have felt like the presence is gone, things feel weird, it's because I'm no longer available. Until you are on a profoundly committed path and chosen correctly, you're not going to get confused anymore with, oh, well, where is the actual authority in the universe? Everyone's been thinking it's in so many different places. It's because I've been always available, and I'm not always available anymore. I'm only available when people are in the correct direction, in a fully committed, on a level that makes you can't go anywhere else. And you need that, because there's so many things pulling you in so many different directions. The manipulation is insane on this planet. Mind control, different occult systems, they all want to take the greatest things that you are. So if I give you great things, then you're a target for them. So I cannot do that anymore. I'm done with it. So anyone who's with gifts and suffering is because commitment is required to have those things now. So if anyone who is in that position, if you truly desire to know the actual truth and you want to heal, your soul will automatically be guided to the new reality system 44, because there are many souls there already. They've been walking that path and their soul knows intuitively. They just not necessarily found the YouTube page as yet. They haven't necessarily found the physical evidence of it as yet. And it will come in time. But I see everything that has already been walking, been moving. So when you understand and know, you felt the pull and now you hear the truth. And it is up to you. Now that you understand who I am, how are you going to move forward? Are you committing to yourself? And when you commit to yourself, you'll automatically be dragged to where the door is for you to walk through. Are you ready to walk through the door that allows you to have the information that you seek, the healing that you seek, the economic growth that you seek, the business expansion that you seek, the wealth accumulation that you seek, the better mentality that you seek, the overall well-being that you haven't been able to solve but you seek? And now you found it. So are you ready to walk through the door? Are you ready for your own self to be what you've always wanted to be? There's only ever one way to have a conversation with me. It's on my website, ENYELAH.com. I do this for security, one way only. It's just like life, there's only ever one door you can walk through at a time. And once you get there, then you'll know from there. It's always one decision, one place, one conversation that changes your existence. And then you'll know from there where you're meant to go and where you're meant to be. Things become clearer when you walk through the door that you're presented with. Thank you, as always, for investing in yourself, for understanding more about your own evolution. And today, it was a little bit more about what my job is, what my authority is, why I'm the person that is that depth that I talk about, why I'm the person that is alluring. Why am I so many things that don't have describable understandings? And it's because many of them are not humanly describable. But you will know. And you do, and that is why you're here. And I'm grateful that you took the time to take a deeper look into life.